guys, how's it going? Dandy Pasquale here. Today I'm doing a video on Tony Maja bunker spoons. This is my second video. In the first one, I break down the bunker spoons in the different sizes. I show you how to rig them, how to fish them along with some tips. But today, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on what you want to look for out there, along with some different ways to rig the bunker spoons. So first off, one of the biggest questions I get is what's the perfect temperature for bass fishing? And here in Jersey over the last couple of years, it really does all have to do with the bait. If the bait's in the area, that's what the bass are going to be feeding on. That's going to attract the fish. So here in Jersey over the last couple of seasons, when the water's been in the low to high 50s, that's when the bait and bass will stick around. When it goes to the mid to upper 60s, when it's in the beginning of summer, that's when the fish will begin to head north up into Montauk or Block Island where the water is in the 50s. And later in the fall, November, December, the bass will begin to migrate south when the water creeps down into the 40s. And right here, actually, I have a picture. This is 45.5 degrees Fahrenheit. This is late November, a couple of years ago, and this is 20 feet of bunker and bass. And that day was a great day of fishing. But a couple of days later, that pod was gone. They were south. So that water kept getting colder, and the bass were going down to Maryland, where the water was in the 50s. So when you're looking to start trolling bunker spoons, really every day you wish your screen looks like this. You have the bait balled up, the fish finder, marking fish. But not every day is going to look like this. Now, one thing we like structure on the bottom. Now the bass tend to hang out down here and they come up and feed on the fish. But just because you're marking doesn't mean there's stripers down there. It could be any fish. Now, some days you really have to put your time in and find them. It's not going to be, you put out your spoons and catch fish right away. Even some of our best days this past season were when we weren't marking anything. There's certain signs you can look for out there that'll lead you to where the bait could be and where the fish could be feeding on them. One of the biggest things we look for are high flyers. Commercial guys last year were complaining on how their bunker were getting beat up and wounded by the bass. One day we headed out about a mile north. There was a big fleet of boats. It was picky fishing. It wasn't anything spectacular. We started on this high flyer. Every single time we trolled by it, every single rod went off, and the fish finder really wasn't marking much, but the bunker and the nets were attracting the bass, and once the bass saw the spoons, they went after those. Now, when you are marking, you want the marks to be in the lower half of the water column, just because the spoons are designed to fish, around 5 feet off the bottom and imitate a wounded bait fish. So, get side-to-side action. I'm gonna get this all on footage in the upcoming season. So, my main point here is you can't always rely on your fish finder, to find your fish. Some days you really have to put your time in and work, to find the stripers. Tony does make bunker spoon rods, and we're actually gonna get those. We're gonna get those in action this upcoming season. But they're designed to get the most possible action out of a bunker spoon. They're great. Can't wait to use them. So now, different ways to rig the bunker spoons. Now, in the first video, I show the way we do it. We fish Tony Maja metered braid, and it's tied onto a drail. In deeper water, we use 16 ounces. Shallower, we use 8 ounces. And from there, we tie on 10 feet of 60-pound leader, which is then tied onto a Tony Maja beaded 3-inch swivel, which is where you attach the bunker spoon. Now, some guys like to fish an extra hook in the water, so instead of using a drail, they'll use a 3-way swivel, tie the main line onto here, tie the 10-foot leader onto here, and then have a 6 to 7-foot leader coming off of this swivel, which is where they tie on a bucktail. Now, it's the same story. In deeper water, they're use around 16 ounces, and shallower, 6 or 8 ounces. All right, we actually do have some bucktails down here. JD's tackle, he makes a killer bucktail, which was absolutely deadly this past season. And that's about it, guys. Tony has a website. I'll put the link in the description below, and it really does have everything about bunker spoon fishing from A to Z, so definitely check it out. I'm on the pro staff as a field tester, so if you have any questions, put them in the comment box below. I'll get back to you in no time. So, stay tuned. Lots of videos coming. Bunker spoon videos in action on their way. Spring is only a couple months away. So, tight lines, catch them up, and I'll see you out in the water. Thanks. Thanks for watching. Alright guys, couple things I forgot to mention in the video there. When you're fishing a bucktail, just to make it clear, no drail is necessary. The weight in the bucktail itself gets the spoon down there, and when we're rigging the bucktail, we'll use either a 9-inch paddle tail shad like the one right here, or a 10-inch Ron Z. Now when you're fishing wireline, a bucktail or a drail isn't necessary because the wire itself gets the spoon down there. Tony does have a chart on his website breaking down the different weights of wire and how far you need to set the spoon back to get to the right range in certain depths. Tony makes both metered braid and marked wire, which makes life 10 times easier when setting the spoons back because you're much more accurate instead of just guessing. And lastly, one of the biggest things I stressed in the first video, never ever put any slack in the line. Keep tension at all times when fighting a fish on a bunker spoon. Alright guys, that really is about it. Like I said, I'm on Tony's pro staff as a field tester, so if you have any questions, please put them in the comment box below. I'll make sure I get back to you as quick as possible. Tight lines, catch them up, and I'll see you out in the water. Thanks for watching.